Every day feels almost the same, doesn't it? You wake up before you're ready. You fight through traffic. You sit at a desk where someone else decides what's important, and then you come home completely drained. At the end of the month, after all that work, there's barely anything left. And if nothing changes, this is the routine for the next few decades. Most people call this normal life. But just because it's normal doesn't mean it's your only option. There is another way. It's quiet, it's slow, and most people don't even notice it. It's a path that makes your time and money work together, not against each other. It's not flashy. It doesn't promise you'll get rich overnight, and that's exactly why it works so well. Imagine a future where mornings aren't started by an alarm clock, where your expenses are paid automatically, and where work is something you choose to do, not something you have to do. That future doesn't just happen. It's built, piece by piece, patiently. When you structure it correctly, money stops being this thing you're always chasing and becomes something that silently supports you. The very first step is getting clear on what you want. Freedom without a target is just a daydream. You need a number, a specific figure that covers your housing, your food, your healthcare, and a comfortable life. We're not talking about luxury here, just stability with choices. Once you know that number, you give it a timeline. Without a deadline, your goals just drift away. But when you can see the destination clearly, your decisions start to line up naturally. Next, you have to understand time. Most people completely underestimate how powerful time really is when you combine it with consistent growth. Money doesn't grow in a straight line, it accelerates. At first, your progress will feel slow, almost disappointing. But that growth builds on itself. Small amounts turn into meaningful sums, and then that turns into real momentum. This is the point where patience separates the winners from the people who give up. Then, we have to talk about the gap. Financial freedom is created in the space between what you earn and what you spend. Sure, increasing your income is important, but controlling your expenses matters just as much. Think about it. Two people earning totally different salaries can end up in the exact same place if one of them is deliberately widening that gap. Saving consistently might feel small at first, but over years, that discipline compounds into something huge. Increase your income, keep your lifestyle steady, and suddenly the whole system starts feeding itself. Here's a secret. Consistency always beats motivation. Instead of relying on willpower, successful people automate their progress. Their money moves into investments on a set schedule without any emotion involved. Their contributions increase a little bit each year, so little you barely notice it in your daily life, but it's incredibly powerful over time. What feels like a small monthly amount becomes a massive sum over decades. A resilient strategy is also crucial. You need different types of assets doing different jobs. Growth assets push your progress forward. Income assets create stability and cash flow, and defensive assets protect you during a downturn. The goal isn't to get the highest return in one single year to survive many years without being forced to quit. Storms will come, that's inevitable. But quitting is a choice. And that brings us to protection, which is so underrated. But having emergency cash, the right insurance, and getting rid of destructive debt prevents you from making panicked decisions. Most financial plans fail, not because the returns were bad, but because people were forced to sell their assets at the worst possible moment. A financial buffer buys you patience. And patience is what keeps the magic of compounding alive. You should track your progress, but do it quietly, not obsessively, just consistently. Watching the trends over time reinforces your discipline and shows you that your plan is working. Small improvements add up. Every dollar you redirect from unnecessary spending becomes a little piece of your future freedom in disguise. These small wins don't feel exciting in the moment, but their power is immense. Growing your income has to be intentional. Providing value pays. Just being comfortable does not. If you focus on improving one skill deeply, or you negotiate better compensation, or you build a scalable side project, you can change the entire financial equation. When your income rises but your spending stays the same, that surplus becomes your fuel. And that fuel is what feeds your compounding engine. Eventually, your assets will start producing their own cash flow. At first, they might cover a small expense, like your phone bill. Then, they'll cover your regular bills. And later, they can cover your entire month's living costs. When your basic needs are handled by your investments, your choices expand dramatically. The pressure just disappears. That's the shift most people never get to experience. Of course, we can't ignore inflation. Costs rise every single year, quietly eating away at your purchasing power. This means your contributions have to increase over time. Your income streams need to grow. If you spend all your investment returns, you'll slow down your progress. Reinvesting a portion of them protects the whole system for the long term. You want to live off the fruit, not the tree itself. Let me be honest, The early years are the hardest. Not financially, but mentally. Progress feels invisible. Doubt starts to creep in. A lot of people stop right here, convinced that nothing is happening. But this phase is where you're building the foundation. Compounding rewards the people who stick around when the results are boring. And then, a tipping point arrives. It will happen. Your investments will start earning more in a single year than you save from your job. Then, they'll earn more than your entire salary. At that stage, your effort matters less than your allocation. Your decisions shift from pushing harder to managing smarter. That's when momentum truly takes over. To protect this freedom, you need rules. Spending limits, financial buffers, and waiting periods before big purchases prevent you from making impulsive decisions. Every unnecessary expense is basically future effort you've stolen from yourself. Your environment matters too. Automated finances, separate accounts, and disciplined routines help you reduce mistakes. Surrounding yourself with people who value independence over appearances will strengthen your resolve. When the right choice is also the easy choice, consistency just naturally follows. And don't forget to plan for life after the financial pressure is gone. Your health, your relationships, learning, finding a purpose, these aren't rewards you get after you're free. They're part of being free. Financial independence isn't about stopping your life. It's about finally owning it. You can start practicing that life now, in small ways. A decade will pass whether you plan for it or not. Some people will spend it reacting to emergencies. Others will use it to build systems. One path leads to exhaustion. The other leads to control. Progress isn't a straight line. Setbacks will happen. Markets will fall. Careers will change. But discipline, diversification, and patience will absorb those shocks. Time does the heavy lifting if you just let it. Simple plans always beat perfect ones. Keep your costs low. Stay consistent. Avoid chasing every new trend. Learning is important, but over-optimizing can kill your momentum. The strategy you follow steadily will always outperform the one you chase occasionally. In the end, this isn't about luck or finding shortcuts. It's about building something that's slow enough to be ignored by others, strong enough to last a lifetime, and patient enough to quietly change your life. Money becomes your worker. Habits become your system. And you become the owner.